One of the key elements in successfully kicking off the utilization of any tool that involves artificial intelligence is in the cleanliness of your data and the input of your data. It wasn't complicated in taking the time to show to the team, this is what the outcomes can look like. This is what your contribution has to make in the lives of those of which we're caring for. It would really take a significant amount of manpower to interpret layers and layers and layers of thousands of notes. I was very quickly drawn to the client intelligence suite when I understood that we can utilize technology to scan what are our employees saying about our visits, what are the common little nuances that keep reoccurring that are actually an underlying issue. When we've recognized a 50 to 60% change in the accuracy of our diagnoses. And a quick story that comes to mind is a client who was just continuously falling week after week, which was leading to, unfortunately, trips to the hospital. By utilizing the technology and working with the caregivers to start documenting, and actually the technology was indicating that there were concerns. By working with the family as well, we were able to put in place proactive measures, and it's been now nearly 4 months that we've been working with this family, and the falls have been next to zero. The Client Intelligence Suite has allowed us to really streamline how we kick off our daily operations, and that trickles into the collaboration we also make with our public partners, being the government. So that has also significantly influenced how they see the value we bring to the support we offer. Being able to utilize now the Client Intelligence Suite and the data that it gives to provide concise summaries of where we need to focus our energy first. And being able to see that is game changer. We've never had any other opportunity to see the impacts that we make. AI allows us to liberate more time from doing the mundane, redundant tasks so that our humans can show up as more caring, more present human beings.